Hey, welcome to another episode of Dave's Imaginations. Today we're going to recap our game from Sunday, March 3rd, as we had a special interim session of Dungeons and Dragons. My players have been pulled in every other way, and like in so many groups, we wanted to keep going, but we just couldn't put our schedules together. But we got last Sunday in, and a lot happened, and we'll get to that right after this. Stay with me. So last Sunday, March 3rd, we started with the crew battling a giant four-armed gargoyle as Strahd makes his escape from somewhere behind a wall. Glowing finally ends that gargoyle with a sacred flame. The crew rolls a stone to reveal a dark, foggy, narrow hallway. They push their way through the fog until Strider trips a teleportation tap that throws him into a flooded dungeon filled with water up to 5 feet. In the dungeon, he finds 4 dark elves who had also been trapped into their own cages. Meanwhile, Ketotah and Rahadin continue their battle until Ketotah finally takes the risky move of twinning inflict wound spell and finally puts Rahadin down. After that, Ketotah then goes and checks on Helwa and Juniper before going to the teleportation brazier up in the tower peak, which he uses, and he goes to this room full of coffins, and amongst those coffins is Strahd waiting for him. So together, Strahd tries to use his charms on him, mind control charms, but Ketotah is not susceptible to that or had made his saving throw, but Strahd does convince him to have him join him back at his castle in his coffin room. At that coffin room, Strahd decides to project an image of himself on top of Ketotah, and then Strahd himself disappears. And seemingly disappears. And then, Ketotah leaves the crypt, but hits one of those teleportation traps, and he himself is also teleported to a dungeon cell. That's the same dungeon cell as some dark elves and Strider. Strider starts beating on his jail bars with his sword, trying to break open the bars. Ketotah uses a window from his robe and puts it on the jail bars to escape the dungeon cell. Ketotah then leaves the dungeon cell, but just to hit another teleportation trap that throws him into another dungeon in another cell. And that's where we left them for a bit, because as the rest of the crew was going down this long, dark hill, Strider had hit the trap. Varinka, Irina, Ruckus, Izek, and Irina's dad head back to the crypts, and they start heading south, the areas they hadn't explored yet, while using his Strahd radar, Gloin is hot on Strahd's trail. Gloin, Olak, and Olak's bot continue down the foggy hall. They turn south, and I think in the game I said downstairs. They actually went upstairs to a door. Through the door to a room that had a brazier, another one of those teleportation braziers. The door to the south in that room, though, opened that up. There was a balcony overlooking a flooded floor full of zombies. Olak climbs onto Gloin's back. And now remember, Gloin is a dragon and dragon wormling, but still, he's very strong. And Olak climbs onto his back, and Gloin flies him over the zombies into the adjacent hallway and toward a set of dungeon cells, which happen to be the ones that the guys are in. And so they enter the dungeon cell to the south as Gloin is using his Strahd radar, right? They enter the dungeon cells to the south, and they find the Strahd. And when they do, Gloin hits the Strahd with a hold vampire spell from his holy symbol. And when he does, though, Ketotah steps forward, but the blip does not. And so seemingly Strahd must be invisible behind where Ketotah was. And then, not knowing this, though, Olak hits Strahd with a mind sliver. And ultimately, Gloin hits the space behind Strahd with a flame strike, doing something like 11 fire or 14 radiant damage. Now, Strider escapes his cell and opens all the cage doors. They start to leave, but the two elves vanish from the water in another apparent teleportation trap. Varinka, Irina, Ruckus, Izek, and Dad head back to the crypts and head south. They are about ready to go into Strahd's crypt when they themselves hit a teleportation trap and are flung into the dungeon cells, the same cells that Strider and company were in. And as they're about ready to leave, Ruckus transforms into a great shark, and they're nudging their way toward the other set of dungeon cells when we decide to enter our night. That is where we ended our night. Boy, they're closer than ever to encountering Strahd, battling Strahd toe to toe, but Strahd keeps eluding them. What will happen next time? I don't know. We'll have to see. So, I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. If you wouldn't mind, please hitting the like, subscribe, and that little notification bell whenever I put out a new video. I'd appreciate it. And otherwise, stay with us. Our next time we play, the schedules are crazy. The next time we're going to play isn't until I believe the 21st, Thursday the 21st. So not this Thursday, but the Thursday after that. Unless the guys decide, hey, their schedules free up and we can figure something out. But that's our next scheduled playtime is Thursday, March 21st. Hope you can join us then. We will be live on YouTube. Otherwise, we will have put those that will remain on YouTube, and then I'll do another recap, I'm sure, at that time. So thank you for watching. Until then, take care.